Coming up, things are looking bleak for NXT. Now it's been revealed who is going to be producing the shows. That is not good news. WWE hasn't made its final decision on the draft, and Ollie Davis is going to be here with his review of last night's AEW Dynamite. So start yourself a super click party by liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment.
Support WrestleTalk!
The bleak news for the black and gold brand of WWE continues, because after it was revealed that the show would be taking a new direction, returning to a more developmental style with a big focus on big, young, meaty dudes, the same as Vince's search history, and this new multicolored unicorn logo was revealed, people were worried. Well, it's Worry Mania season now, lads, because yesterday Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio said that he had heard that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard would be producing the new NXT. Let's pour one out for NXT, folks. Oh, this is empty. Oh, it was already dead to me. It was already dead to me. Now, Fightful Select followed up by saying that the talent they had spoken to hadn't been informed of McMahon and Pritchard's involvement in the show going forward, and that neither McMahon or Pritchard were present during the recent tapings backstage. But Bruce is expected to be at the PC this weekend, and not all NXT talent is mandated to be there. Probably by size? I don't know. And a source told Matt Ment's Andrew Zarian as well that Vince has been hands-on and will continue to be moving forward. Yay. Meanwhile, in main roster town where NXT dreams used to die until NXT was like, it, let's cut out the middleman and kill him ourselves, there's a draft coming up. Rumour had it recently that Drew McIntyre would be on his way to SmackDown, and Ringside News followed up on this story saying that it is neither accurate nor inaccurate, as the draft has not been decided. And this notion has been repeated by a bunch of other outlets too, and honestly, it just feels right. WWE just being like, we'll sort it out on the night. Interestingly though, are those reports that USA and NBC Universal were cross about how stacked SmackDown's roster is compared to Raw, which sending Drew McIntyre over to the blue brand isn't gonna exactly fix. Also not getting fixed is a travel issue surrounding All Out, which has led to the cancellation of one of the matches. Now, Tony Khan tweeted post-Dynamite that due to travel issues, the Bastard Pac and Andrade El Idolo bout is postponed until a future AEW Rampage. Andrade reacted, saying that he had wasted his time and suggested that Pac should be fined a sum of money like in boxing to pay Pac it. And also announced yesterday was Braun Strowman's return to wrestling. Adam Scherr, as he now goes by because that's his real name, was teasing an announcement yesterday which turned out to be a match on a show produced by his good friend EC3 under his Control Your Narrative banner. Now, EC3 previously released a Free the Narrative show where he faced Matt Cardona, and Free the Narrative 2 is subtitled The Monster in Us All, which makes us grow tall, makes us really happy and beardy and eat lots of meat. The teaser video for which sees a very tall, shadowy figure, very obviously Adam Scherr, facing off against EC3 in this sort of in sort of a garage. Wrestling promo packages are weird, aren't they? Everyone's just in a garage or like mooching around outside or in an asylum. Anyway, hot tag to Ollie Davis for today's AEW Dynamite review. Tag. Don't know if he did the other half of the tag, but tag.
It's Thursday, you know what that means. Time for me still not believing CM Punk back in wrestling is a thing, with my review of the 100th episode of AEW Dynamite. The show opened on the match of the night, a classically worked tag match between FTR and Santana and Ortiz. Despite being my most anticipated match of the whole Pinnacle versus Inner Circle feud, it feels like these two teams haven't been showcased in the way they deserve. Thankfully, coming off the freak accident in their match last month, the Chicago crowd were excellent, giving this atmosphere a pay-per-view grudge match feud climax. And, dare I say it given Laurie's news, a very NXT takeover feel. Maybe it's because FTR perfected this kind of match structure during their NXT run against rivals like American Alpha and DIY, complete with quadruple down off a near fall and, a rarity for AEW, the wrestlers mostly observing tag rules. But even though Santana and Ortiz won in 15 minutes getting a "This is awesome" chant, I still want more. I feel like both teams have an even better better match in them. Despite still getting the biggest pop of the night, CM Punk's reaction here was a fraction of his debut episode. That's not a criticism, just an acknowledgement of how huge that Rampage ovation was. But it is a law of diminishing returns Punk seems to be acutely aware of. He yet again started off his promo saying people are going to get sick of this soon, so he's going to enjoy it while it lasts. Punk's a smart guy, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually his way of subtly foreshadowing a heel turn down the line. CM Punk is leader of Dark Order confirmed. Speaking of diminishing returns, while I could listen to the man just cut a promo for the whole of Dynamite and Rampage every week for the rest of the year, AEW smartly changed up that format, having Daniel Garcia and 2.0 jump Punk here. Because Punk is kind of in a storyline with Sting right now, you better believe promos are going to get interrupted. This brought out Darby Allin and Sting for the save, where we not only got to see Punk get physical for the first time since his return, hitting a GTS, we also saw him share a ring with Sting, which is super weird but very enjoyable in a way, you know, when something just slips in the right place and you haven't felt it go there before, but you're like, this just feels right. Talking about Tetris. When in a game of Tetris. Darby and Punk then faced off, with Punk bringing a far more MMA energy than his WWE run, while Sting cut a promo saying he won't be ringside at All Out, so it's just man-on-man action, which is great. I love man-on-man action. What have I written today? Tony Schiavone interviewed MJF saying he's the most despicable human being he's ever known. He didn't really need to be there because MJF then just cut an uninterrupted promo looking into different cameras. Camera 1, camera 2, back to the wide cam, camera 1 again. Wide cam, camera 2. He's going to end Jericho's career on Sunday. Jericho got his own in-ring promo later on with tears in his eyes alongside JR, where he really made you believe this could be the end of his in-ring career. Both promos worked fantastically to build the match on Sunday, although a song would have been better. Orange Cassidy then rolled up Jack Evans to win during the restaurant-quality picture-in-picture ad break. I've seen some people be annoyed that the main show missed the finish, but I think that adds a degree of realism to AEW, that people can win their match at any time, commercials or not. The Hardy family office then brawled with the Best Friends and Jurassic Express afterwards, setting up the all-out pre-show match. Then it was pre-edited promo time. Eddie Kingston and Miro got a video package on each other ahead of their TNT title match, Moxley got one on him versus Kojima, and Darby had a really nice black and white promo on how Punk was his favourite wrestler when he was 15, which was only last week. Then we got a hoss battle of Brian Cage versus Powerhouse Hobbs, which made me feel like I was playing the impossible body shapes of the WWE All-Stars video game. Cage took most of the match, but Hook and Starks cheated to give Hobbs the win. Black cut a promo on Lee Johnson. Not content with making just QT Marshall look bad last week, Paul White took out the entire Nightmare Factory here. The Gun Club came out to help him, but then Billy Gunn turned on White, hitting him with a chair. This was a surprise, but I don't know if that makes it any good. Britt Baker then teased one of the hottest free agents in wrestling has just signed with AEW. Her. She's signed a multi-year deal. Then we got an absolute treat of a match that came from nowhere, with Tay Conti and Penelope Ford really getting over in their 5 minutes of action that even got a brief "This is awesome" chant, and then effectively building the Casino Battle Royal this Sunday, where alliances need to be formed. Anna Jay made her return to save Conti in the post-match beatdown, and then further fleshing out the division of characters, Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill jumped Thunder Rosa backstage. And the main event saw Jurassic Express tagging with the Lucha Bros against the elite lineup of the Young Bucks, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. If the opening tag match exemplified that classic tag team wrestling style, this was the opposite of that. But that doesn't make it any less spectacular, with fast-paced back-and-forth action throughout, and Excalibur's brilliant description of Rey Fenix as perpetual motion personified. The main feud here was between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros, who will wrestle for the tag titles this Sunday, and the Bucks pinned Fenix with the Meltzer driver to win. AEW then brilliantly filled the last 5 minutes of the show with a fantastic heel-dominating go-home angle. Kenny Omega came down to the ring to direct the Elite beatdown, channeling pure cokehead energy, so Christian tried to save the faces, but it was a trap. Don Callis had pinched Tony Khan's production keys, and they started to lower that absolutely humongous cage from the rafters. The actual steel one, not Brian. The Elite then beat down the faces as other wrestlers like Kaz and Dante Martin tried to help, but they weren't allowed to get over the top of the cage. This was a very effective cliffhanger ending. What did you think of Dynamite? Let me know in the comments. A massive 86% of you voted for CM Punk is still a thing in our poll on a poll match. This was a great go-home episode with excellent angles or promos for the major matches at All Out. Chiefly Punk vs Allen, Jericho vs MJF, and the tag and world title bouts. This week's Dynamite is 4 out of 5.
Hello and welcome to Cinemania here on Cineworld YouTube channel. It is wonderful to be back. We haven't done a Cinemania now in a fair few months, but so much in the world has changed. Cinemas are reopened. We're all enjoying things on the big screen again. So we thought, what better time than to get together and have a little bit of silly fun